my husband, Brother Richard Neal Bay, Islam Moors. Again, happy holy day to each and every one of you all. Islam. My husband, Brother Richard Neal Bay, Islam Moors. So I want to go back to I'm going to take a reading from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But before I do that, the sister had some questions about our Learning Academy modules. And so I'm going to go into the Learning Academy modules. All right, so in here, we have the courses. And in the courses, we go down to the Academy Learning Modules, weeks 1 through 5. We have the templates. Now, because you did your court order name change, all you will have to do is take your court order name change, your passport, identification card, and the SF5FS form. Okay. And I'm going to share this form so we can all go through it. Can y'all see the screen?
Islam.
Islam. All right. Oh, man, let me get back to it. All right, so on the screen, it shows how I fill this out, right? So I fill out and everything is lowercase. Because if they put uppercase, because normally, especially on the Social Security card, they're gonna put all uppercase, right? But if you got a court order name change and your court order name change is all lowercase or upper and lowercase, then they have to put it like that on the card. It has to reflect the same thing. So depending on how you have it, depends on how you have to make them print it out on that card. Right. So for those who do a name correction, if you do it all in lowercase, then they have to update it all in lowercase. If they do it in upper lowercase, then it has to be in upper lowercase on that card. For parents, for your children, right? For your children, show you something. If you plan on getting a Social Security card number for your children, don't do a first name or middle name. Instead, do the name of their trust for the last name. So you should have an EIN and the name of the trust. You should have a baptismal certificate from the temple in the name of the trust. Whatever hospital records you have when your child is born, all those different things it should be. So if it was me, then it would be Krystal Glover Ill Trust. That's what it would be for me. Krystal Glover Ill Trust. Because it's business. And that's the only public
That's right.
that's the only public business that I'm allowing them to do. We have to get out of wanting to provide
It's
our
long. Can you recite that again? You said this is what?
it's business.
It's long. That's right.
We got to get outside of giving our personal family business to out. These are strangers. They're strangers. And everyone in the world has access to your personal family business. Every time you sign up for something, right? They have access to your family personal business. Stop giving it to them. We have to stop giving it to them. So if you're going to utilize a social security number, do it in the form of the name of your child's trust that you set up for them. Islam, and then of course it's no, it says full name at birth or other above. Do the same thing, first name, no middle name, no middle name. Don't do any middle name at all. None. Don't do any middle names. Get rid of doing middle names. Just get rid of doing it. Again, they need to get out of your personal business. So then we go to the social security number. Of course, you're going to put the social security number that's already associated with the prior name before you did the name correction or the name change. Place of birth, you want to do it in all lowercase. So the name of the city, the name of the state, and then write the name state. Write out state after you type in the name of the state. Date of birth, put that information in there, right? It's going to ask for ethnicity. Are you Hispanic or Latino? No. Anytime it asks you on any application, are you Hispanic or Latino? No. Race, I chose American Indian. You also want to type right in, make other boxes, make 2 of them, one for Moor, the other one for Asiatic. And you can add in, should always add in the federal codes for it. So let's see, the federal code, let's go to the SF 181 form. Because on the SF 181 form, it also provides those codes for you. And you'll also provide them with those codes as well. So Moore is 667 and Asiatic is 463. Right, and you can always go and verify. Let's see. By the CDC, federal code, CDC, federal code, more. Right, so we type in Control F, we're gonna look for more. Mm, let's see. Here we go. More. 667. Not just making it up. Same thing with Asiatic. 463. Right. And then again for to look up the code. Because a lot of people are like, well, why is you putting American Indian? Okay, it literally says Eastern tribes, race and ethnicity, Eastern tribes. So I'm not making it up. Eastern tribes, American Indian, right? More right here. American Indian, Eastern tribes, more. So yeah, I'm not making any of this up. It's already in the system. So going back to the form, got American Indian, more Asiatic, male or female, whichever one you are. And then if you are at the age of majority, you don't have to put your parent's name. If it's for your child, of course you'll put, your name. But if it's for your child, I would go with the father's name. Right. When they don't see the father's name, they automatically want to make the child a ward of the state because they want the state to be the father. All right. Of course, age majority, you don't have to put your parents' social security number or anything like that.
Islam. Can you run that back one more time? You said if you're doing it for your children, to
Yeah,
put
if you're
what
doing
on the
it,
father?
yeah, if you're doing it for your children, the father's information should be put on it instead
Okay.
of the mother. Um, if it say like if the parents aren't married,
Right.
right? So if the parents aren't married, they don't have um the same, family name,
Right.
then I would just go with the father because they try to take that, show that the child is not bearing the same name of the family, like the child took on the mother's name or something like that. So
Right.
automatically they want to make the state the father.
Okay. Now, did I miss this, or is this also the case that we should be doing this if we should be correcting our information on here if we have gotten our trust and everything together as well?
Well, this doesn't have anything to do with your trust. This is
Okay.
weeks 1 through 5. So this
Ah,
is just name correction, name changes that you've done, correcting status, so on and so forth with Social Security Administration.
well, that's why I'm going back, because I think that's a mistake that I made in not doing mine properly. That's why I'm asking. I noticed you mentioned the trust for the child in there. That's what made me ask the question about the trust.
Yeah, that's only for the child. So if it was my child, I wouldn't provide them with my child's name. Like the family name that we give our children, we should not be providing any entity our child's family name. We should only be providing them business names that we create for our children.
Gotcha.
So one of the business names that we should be creating for our children is the name of their trust. So
Right.
if it was me and it was my child, right, it would be Krystal Glover Ill Trust. Whatever your child's name is and the word trust after it.
Okay.
They wouldn't have a first name or a middle name when it comes to doing business. They will only have a last name.
So that'd be more like a private side, sacred side.
It would be a business side because that's the
That's
only
fine.
business that they're gonna get from that. That's the only business information they'll be getting from me. My child went to them, my child will never have a first name or a middle name. They will only have a business name.
The more you give, the more they try to take over.
Man, always. Always. So now when they are, say now your child is 16 and your child is 16, your child now is traveling, driving, whatever. Your child gets pulled over. First thing they're gonna say is, um, give me your, license, registration, whatever. Your child should have a identification card from the temple, and they provide them with that. They provide them with, whatever. They provide them with that. They should also be able to provide them with a passport. Right, your passport ID should be another version of an identification card that your child has to provide. And they'll see that, hold on, this name says trust on it. So they'll know automatically that this is business. This means business. It's not a real physical entity. The entity is a trust. And the more that you teach your children that they operate out of trust, right, the better we'll be off when it comes to us seeking remedy and equity. So I hope that answers your question, Sister Sister Madi Bay, you got your hand raised.
Islam, I just want to make sure that I have this straight, because you had we were doing this for children. So So in my
Right.
case,
Yeah,
in my
in your
case,
case, yeah, in your case,
it would
you
be
would just do it just with the last name.
with
Just
my
last name.
bae.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be
So I
your
don't put no first name, or I just put. Oh wait.
right,
Oh, wait.
whatever is on your passport for your name, that's
Yeah, but
how
it
you're
has my first and middle name. Okay. 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 So. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. So because when you had it up there, you had Krystal Glover L. So mine would be
no,
J.
that was okay. So first I had just first name, last name.
Okay.
And then I explained I said for parents, when you are having children, what you can do for your children, instead of providing them with first name, middle name, last name, you don't provide them with any first name, middle name, or a middle name. You only provide them with a last name, and the last name can be first name, middle name, first name, last name, and then the word trust after it, because that should be the name of the trust that you already set up for your child. So I'm giving the parents an example of what they should be doing for their children. As they're having children, this is what they should be doing. They should be setting their children up for a trust, and the trust name should be the last name if they're going to get a social security number for the child. It should be in the trust name. Now, when you go into Mighty Networks, like if you go to Mighty Networks right now and you go to templates, you look at this form looks like this. It just has first name and last name on it. That's all the form says. It doesn't have the trust name information on it. So I hope that clarifies for you. Islam, Brother McCarty, you got your hand raised?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Go ahead to the young lady.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So what I got out of that is, because I'm going to be using this form, what I got out of that is to put the whole name that's on my passport with
Right.
trust behind it.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you're going to fill it out just like this, the way that I have it right here.
Okay. So my first name that's on my pass card, and then the last name with my my bae, and trust. Or no? No trust. Okay,
No
okay,
trust.
that's for the children. Oh, okay,
Right,
thank
that's
you.
for the children.
I got it. I got it. Thank you so much. Okay, it's fine.
All is well, as well. Yeah, that's just for, I'm giving an example for parents when they're having children, to get out of it. Because if you're going to, as I've done this, I've set up trust for children, and their parents, it start off with not wanting a social security number for the child, right? So we do an EIN number for them. They get the EIN number, and then they start to go and, create different accounts and so on and so on. And then these people are saying to them, oh, you need a social security number. And I'm telling them, you don't need a social security number. And I'm providing them with different resources that they can utilize that says that they don't have to have social security number, right? Like the Department of Justice says that you don't have to have a social security number because it doesn't provide identification. It's not a part of identification. Same thing with state IDs and driver's license. It doesn't provide actual identification. So these are some of the things that you don't have to utilize. We just have been conditioned into utilizing this. I think everyone should get rid of driver's license, as well as get rid of driver's license, get rid of state identification cards. Get rid of them. If you're going to use the passport allows you to use the book as well as the passport identification card. All right, use your temple nationality identification card. All right, we have the PVC ID cards where it has your picture, has all the information that a regular state identification card would have. And it expires within 5 years. You know, it has pretty much everything. It has a QR code on it. So when it's scanned, it goes directly to your own file within Mighty Networks. So if you had to go and show anyone, you know, like, look right here, this is my information right here. When it pulls up a copy of your membership acceptance letter. It pulls up your dues cards for any of you who did your for all of you all who've you've gone through weeks 1 through 5. It'll have a copy of your certificate for weeks 1 through 5. It has, for all those who did convention last year, it has templates for the revocable trust, for the pistol league to set that up. So yeah, it has a couple of different things that you've done that the temple has on file for you. It also has a copy of, I want to say, copy of your baptismal certificates as well. If you have a baptismal certificate, I want to say it has it on there. But yeah, anytime you look up your file on Mighty Networks, it's always going to be your first initial and your family name with your ill or your bay. Only the temple and you have access to it, unless you give someone else access to it. Other than that, no one else has access to it. So, like I said, on the PVC identification card, the QR code is connected to your own personal file with your own personal information on it. Brother McClaudio, got your hand raised again? Or was
Yes.
that a new hand or old hand? Okay.
This is the new old hand from before.
Okay.
So the master of questions, of course. Going back for a second. So, you know, you were, and I hope I don't confuse anybody. You were mentioning, you know, the process with, you know, setting up the trust for the children. And so are you doing that all the way around? So even once you set it up on the Social Security card like this, you're also setting it up on their PVC application with the temple the same way, as well as any other document that you are applying for. You're setting that all up the same way?
Yeah, that's for and this is for children that's just now being born.
Right. And the
So
reason,
yeah, this is for new parents. So for new parents, this is what I will be doing today. For parents, you've been parents since time immemorial, your child would need a name change. So you have to do a name change for your child. Okay.
so not that I'm going to be having any new children to implement, but from the standpoint of how this works, because I feel like if you understand, you know, how to keep yourself aligned to start out with, it's a lot easier than trying to correct it later. So like usually when you go in and have a child, while you're in there, they're going to try to get you to sign this birth certificate and do all this stuff. And so I would imagine if you know that you're getting ready to have a child, then you are putting this trust and things together first, correct? Like to make sure that
Yeah,
all that's in place.
yeah,
So that
you should
comes to the time.
definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so like with our clients, they know they're having children. We set up the trust. They get the birthing. They got something called a birthing plan,
Right.
right? And you provide the hospital, the doctors, everybody is put on notice to let them know this is what is to be expected according to the the birthing plan. And a lot of times they'll have either a midwife or a doula in there with them. You let them know if you're gonna be getting the 1 cent burgers or not, and all of the fries and the shakes that go along with the 1 cent burgers.
Huh.
So you let them know if you're gonna be doing any of that, and if you're not gonna be doing any of that. You also let them know, your religious customs and usages, things that, you don't do because of your religious customs and usages. One other thing I want to give everybody, okay? This is what I want to give everybody. For the whoever is going to be in the delivery room, or whoever is going to be like right there with you, even after you have the baby, because a lot of times what happens is after you have a child. After you have the child, that's when everybody wants to come in with all their shenanigans. Okay. This is what I would suggest you ought to start doing. Okay. Every state has this. Every state has this, and you can go sign up. All of y'all should go and sign up for this. All right, so Illinois. What is it called? Illinois. Report child abuse form. Let's see. Trying to think of the name of it. Okay. Neglect reporting. If you believe the abuse or neglect what requires immediate, must call child and neglect hotline. I know the form number for Illinois, but I want to try to figure out a way that you or let's see.
If you pull up the form number for Illinois, will it give you the name of the form?
You know what? Let's see.
And I still got another question when we get done with this.
Uh-huh. Should be. Go ahead and ask your question and I'll look for the form.
Well, the other question has to do with, you mentioned that we should get rid of the licenses as well as the state IDs, et cetera. And while I know most of us have heard, we've got our constitutional rights protected that say we don't need a license to travel, as well as all of these other things. When you run across these policy enforcers who don't want to abide by that law and constantly want to tell you that you need a license to operate a motor vehicle, et cetera, et cetera. I guess how do you operate without being molested if you choose to go that route?
Okay. So you got to surrender the driver's license. So if you're going to have the passport, you got to surrender the driver's license because you got to get out of their system.
Okay.
All
I
right.
think you probably need to repeat that part because a lot of people get caught up because they have not surrendered that back over to those people.
You got to give it up. Got to give it to them. You can't hold on. Can't hold on to it.
Now, if you do that, though, can you still, quote unquote, operate in commerce when necessary?
Again, going back to the right to travel module, everything is in there to sign up to basically get your DOT number.
Right.
So if you got your DOT number for your entity, then that means that you have a DOT number for the property that your entity owns. Right? Remember, it's non-commercial. So I mean, you have that. You also have, and that's a lot of the problem. That's the second issue that I find most of the time. Most of the time, it is many don't have a DOT number and they have not surrendered the driver's license. That's the main issue.
Well, I pose that question from the standpoint of someone like, let's say you're providing transportation services through, one of these.
You're not providing transportation services. What you're doing is you are a ministry, and your ministry is providing humanitarian services. You understand? Okay. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right. Yeah, that's what's going on. There is no driving. Yeah, there is no driving at all. See, remember that the back of your questionnaire says that Moorish Temple of America anoints and appoints, consecrates missionaries. So you are on a divine mission from the great universal God Allah. Your mission in life is to uplift fallen humanity. Your mission is never to engage in commerce. That's not our mission. That might be mission for other folks that got stuff going on in life, but our mission is to uplift fallen humanity. Each and every one of us. Right? When we open up the additional laws, it says that we are to exercise our five senses for all of us who's able to do so. A part of us exercising our senses is being about the mission. But our mission is never to engage in commerce with these people. These are literal evil and demonic contracting parties. Their mission is to get us not to be focused on the will of Allah's mission for us. That's how we always have to look at it. We start looking at, well, well, this is commercial, that's commercial, that's commercial, that's commercial. That's what it's called. However, we're on a mission from Allah to uplift fallen humanity. So we're not conducting commerce. Everybody else in the world might be conducting commerce, but we're not. Islam. Islam, did I answer your question, Brother McClaudio?
Yeah, to a degree. I'm processing other information, but that'll do for now. Islam.
Islam. That's what it's called, mandate reporters. Let's see here. Illinois child abuse mandate reporters. All right. And each and every one of you all should become a mandated reporter. Whatever state you're in, every state has a form that you can fill out where you can go and become a child abuse mandate reporter. So you, along with whoever else is going to be whoever the main person is going to be in the hospital with you after you after you have your child, have your children, how many you have, however many you have, you both should be registered mandate child abuse reporters. Because what they do is, when you get to start saying things like, no, my child, remember the birth plan says that my child is not going to have any of the 1-cent burgers or the fries and the shakes, and no, we're not having any of those. Not my child. My child will not be getting any of that. Right. So first thing they want to start doing is they want to start, especially if it's the father, they want to start kicking the father out the room. They want to do things like, oh, the father is belligerent. He's trying to force the mother and what to do and what to say and so on and so forth. Become a registered mandate reporter for child abuse. Because guess what they're going to do? They're going to call the Child Protective Services and they're going to say, oh, we're going to have to take the child. You can't take the child home with you. You're neglectful, and this is how the state makes most of its money. They always make their money through the children. All right, so go and sign up, become a reporter. It does not cost you a thing. Islam?
Shalom.
All right. Let's go back to the SS5 form. All right. So get back to this form. Everyone can see here, you don't have to put name, first name, last name, or anything like that. I'll just put the date that you're signing the form. If you want to put a phone number, you could put a phone number. If you don't want to put a phone number, you don't have to put a phone number. I like to put an email address right here where it says daytime phone number. The mailing address, make sure you write in the full mailing address, city, state, zip code. I always use the law of boxes, which basically says anything within the box is not really there. So if I'm going to do a zip code, I always put the boxes up, and then it asks relationship. I always put trustee of the trust, or
Now, is this
trustee
for anybody?
or trustee of the trust property. So if it's me, right, I would have my first name, last name, right? And I know that we all know from previously that this is an estate that the state set up through the birth certificate, right? So the estate is trust property, or property that's owned by the trust. So it still would be the trustee of the property that's owned by the trust. Or I can do executor if I'm a man. Or executrix if I'm a woman. For the estate. So really just depending on how you want it. Make sure anytime you sign to reserve your rights. Always reserve your rights. I don't care if you use UCC codes, whatever, however you want to handle your scandal. But get it how you live it. Let's see. No, Sister Bianca, this is the SF5 form. So this is a form you take to the Social Security Administration when you're updating the Social Security account number. Also, for your children, when you have children, one of the things I was saying was to stop giving them this information. Don't give them a first name, don't give them a middle name, only give them the last name with the word trust behind it, because you should already have a trust. You're having children, you should set up a trust for your children in your child's name. So for me, for an example, it would be Krystal Glover Ill Trust. And that would be only the last name section. So Social Security wouldn't have a first name or a middle name for me. If I was setting up a trust, I mean, if I was gonna apply for a Social Security number for my child, it would only be the name of the trust that I set up for my child. It would not be first name, middle name. Once you start giving them first name, middle name, now they're setting up, they're creating it as if it is a like it's an actual real person that now they have jurisdiction over through the Social Security account. But if it's just the last name, they already know you doing business. There's nothing else. This is all business. You're not giving them access, making them believe that, this is a first name, middle name, last name type of entity. They only have a last name and it's in the name of the trust. So that's one of the things that I suggest for all new parents as you're having your children, set it up this way. They know that you mean business when you're not giving them your family's personal information, which will be your child's first name and middle name. Only give them a last name and give them the last name and the name of the trust for your child, nothing else. All right. Brother McClaudio, you got some more questions, I know.
I do. I surely do. So for those, since I plan on having no other heirs to add to my trust at this time, I want to know, is this, so if let's say we've had our name change, we went and, because I know personally, I'll tell on myself, I did not do this correctly. I don't believe when I went and made the correction to my Social Security card.
Well, I'm pretty sure you didn't fill out this form. I know you didn't fill out.
I filled that form out. I definitely filled the form out, but
you
I
filled
did
out
not.
an SS5 FS?
FS? I don't think it was FS. What's the difference in the FS and the regular form?
Foreign status.
No, I definitely didn't do that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't do that. Now, what does that yeah, nah, so
but
so now you
look,
got me confused already.
this is the thing. This is the thing.
Uh-huh.
The SS5 and the SSFS got the same exact format, got the same exact questions.
Right.
The only difference is the form number and the OMB number. That's the difference.
So then I could go and take this form right now and make a quote unquote correction to my current card. Okay, so now the reason let me ask two questions off of that. So now that makes sense as to why they probably didn't write it on there. They put it in all caps. But what does one making the correction to, let's say they put it in all lowercase, do for a person with their Social Security card? See, because what I'm gathering is that they constantly make this connection that they try to make it seem like the all caps person is you, and so we need this distinction. So if you got it in all lowercase on the Social Security card, what does that allow you to do, and does that help you distinguish between the real
living in the court, all caps is corporation.
Yeah, right.
Lowercase is a lowercase, uppercase is a living man or woman. Same thing as all lowercase, living man and woman. Now, my question to you would be, when you got your name change, did you have it in all lowercase or upper and lowercase?
I got to go back and look at my paperwork now. I thought I got it in upper and lowercase, but now you got me questioning my existence. Let me go back and look at this.
Scratch his head on what you're saying.
Listen, what? Right, I'm over here. I thought I was good, but let me go back and look now. Wait a minute, because I'm questioning everything I thought I knew.
Yeah, go back and look. However it is on your name change, they have to put it like that. And I know that what they'll say is, oh well, the computer. Yeah, the computer don't, but you you got access to go in and change the computer as well.
Right. Go in there and make that correction. Okay, I'm pulling. I always take a picture of my documents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? These shiesty folks put it in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that's not your work right there. That's their work, all caps.
Right. So then, how
When
do I
you
go?
read it, let me ask you this: when you read it in the newspaper, was it in all caps or lower and uppercase?
I never ran it in the newspaper.
What you mean? You never ran? You never
Uh-oh.
ran it? You gotta run it in the
Gotta
newspaper.
run it.
Even so, my understanding was that they ran it. That was the waiting period.
Yeah. So when you got your
So when I went through
affidavit, so when you get your affidavit of publishing, on there, it'll show you.
no, I never personally ran it. I went and applied, went to the probate court. They made me
Mm-hmm.
wait for a period of time before they
Mm-hmm.
got this. I think it was like 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember getting an affidavit of publishing or anything of that capacity.
Yeah, they're supposed to give you. They run it in a newspaper for you. They have
Okay,
to
you
give
see your
you.
sisters in the chat. They got some questions for you as well.
I got them.
Okay.
They have to run. They have to provide you with a
Yeah,
copy
it says
of
on
the
here. It
affidavit of
says on
publishing.
here that the application of hearing date was given by one publication, a newspaper of general circulation in this county at least 30 days prior to hearing of the application. The court for
Mm-hmm.
the finds reasonable and proper cause exists for changing the name, but they never gave me an affidavit, and then they put it in all caps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
it's in all caps. You didn't got a whole name change in all caps.
now I got to go and get this corrected then.
Mm-hmm.
So do I have to go through that process all over again?
Yeah, you got to go to the courthouse, tell them to change that because it needs to display it correctly.
That's not you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot. Okay, I gotta go down here and make that. That makes a lot of sense now.
Mm-hmm. It's also System IoT Bay. The form is in Mighty Networks, and you can also get it from the SSA website. But it is also in Mighty Networks. Let me go back to it. That's not the page I want to pull up.
One thing about our brother McCloudy, he gonna ask those questions, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. That's why I said, but McCloudy, yeah, I know you got more questions.
And guess what? Others probably gonna ask the same question. So with them bringing it out and make it all the way live.
Mm-hmm.
They saying all I get an understanding. So that's what I want to make sure I
There it
get with
is.
that.
Like the sister said, she see it all on the website, Mighty Networks, but step behind step behind step, you got to make sure you're doing everything right. Because again, all caps, that's not you at all. That has nothing to do with you.
All right, so if you come to Mighty Networks, you click on Academy Learning Modules, you come down here to templates. It is the last template, the SS5FS form.
And I know I did not fill it out like that. You know what I mean? Like I know I didn't.
Oh, I know you
out
did, because I thought of that. That's how I know you did. I know you didn't fill it out like that, because I thought of that, so I know you did.
See the beautiful side of the prophet. He gave us the divine side, and we got a national side, law and government, right here.
Law and government. So this is where you get the form from. You can also go to their website, and then if you go up there, they have the forms as well for you to fill out. Let's see, other questions. This has no effect to the UCC one at all. UCC One is a state form that is associated with your Secretary of State. Social Security is a federal department with the federal government. Let's see.
Boris love that
All right, so you
UCC.
said you already filled out for my nationality states. Okay, yeah. Whenever you, so you're saying you already did your UCC 1 or your SSF?
I took it as she was saying her UCC 1.
Yeah, I think she said, I'm thinking she talking about UCC. Yes,
Mhm.
UCC, it's on, yeah, UCC, if it's a UCC 1, you can always go back and amend that.
I wanted, so I'm so confused because I'm still at the beginning of the process, right? I filed my UCC 1 and 3 as Bianca Cherie Richwood. And but when I sent my information to you, I only put my first and last name. Would that affect the like is there something that I'm so confused on the correct way to fill out this paperwork? Because the paperwork is different for it's mainly the same. UCC 1 is the same paperwork all over, but how you were explaining how we were supposed to sign and print our name, capitalization versus lowercase, that's where I'm confused at.
Okay. So the UCC 1, that is just to put a lien on property. That's all the UCC 1 is for. It's a lien. So it's not gonna provide you with updating any prior contracts that you've already already created.
Okay.
For instance, Social Security Administration, that's a contract. Birth certificate, that's a contract. Certificate of live birth, that's a contract. Contracts that you make with insurance companies, so on and so forth. Employment, those are contracts, right? All the UCC 1 does is it liens whatever property that is owned by whatever name is being utilized. So if you filed a UCC 1 for with your name or on that name, that's proper. That's definitely proper to file a UCC 1 lien on that name. When it comes to doing the, how you file the UCC 1, it just really depends on what it is that you are associating with filing. For example, when I do a UCC 1 to lien a name, I lien all of the other contracts that was created with that name. So that is the birth certificate, that's the social security card, so on and so forth. I lien those contracts that's being utilized in that name as well. Because that's all the UCC 1 is. It's just a lien. So if anyone is utilizing that entity name, you can provide them with a notice to let them know, hey, this is a property that's liened on. You have to pay for the first lien because you're the first lien holder, or your trust is the first lien holder, or your trust is the first lien holder that your estate is managing, however way you have it set up. But that's basically all a UCC 1 financing statement is. It's just a lien. Nothing more, nothing less.
Islam, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Brother Makadia.
I'm over here trying to calm down. I wish we had this conversation on Monday. I'm gonna be hot all weekend now.
Oh,
Try to wait till Monday to get down there on these people.
oh, you're gonna be hot.
I'm hot because they
Hot.
did my
You wasn't
information.
hot. You wasn't hot. You wasn't talking all that and hot when you got it.
I thought I was good. I mean, now I'm hot that I didn't. They didn't put then what they say hoodwink me. They didn't put the information on there and basically like what the prophet say. You got to be careful. They re-enslave you. That's all they did.
When she said, "Oh no, all caps," that ain't it, Mo. They got
right. When I went back and looked at the paper, I said, "Oh no." And now it makes a whole lot of sense of why all of this other stuff has been running into problems as well because of the all caps.
Yeah, get rid of that demo. But
I got to figure out how to undo it now. So I'm got to start from square one. Or I'm hoping I can go down there and say, "Look, y'all made a mistake. This is not how it was filled out. This needs to be
you
changed."
can go back to ask for a copy. Before you say anything, just go down and ask for a copy of the application that you filled out.
Copy of the application.
Then you fill out an application for name
I
change?
did.
Okay, then.
I did. I just want to make sure I heard you correct. I just want to make sure I heard you. I want to make sure I heard you correct.
Ask them for a copy.
What you talking about? Check this out. What you talking about?
And now you were in the matrix a little bit. It started breaking up as you were saying that. That's why I said that. So yeah, I was like, wait a minute, let me make sure I heard you say that right.
Come back to us.
Right.
Yeah, so go and ask them for a copy. If you ask them for a copy of it, they provide you with a copy. That's your evidence.
Okay.
So then that way you ain't got to repay for nothing. You got, hey, look, this was a mistake on your end.
Got it. I'm still gonna be hot. I got to cool. I'm gonna have to go into meditation tonight.
Go into meditation, Mo.
It
got me.
And they know they got you. Now they want to see how you gonna play. See, they playing chess with you.
That's all right. I love chess.
They know.
I love chess. See, he fell in the matrix too. See that?
Yeah, that's probably our internet taking us away.
Well, I won't blame it on my
Sister Mayati Bay, you got your hand raised? You can unmute.
Ooh, they dirty. Ooh.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. I don't think I don't know if the sister's unmuted.
Oh, did I unmute? I'm just
now you are.
Oh my goodness.
now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
There you go,
Islam. Listen, when I fill out forms, I do like my first name that I capitalize, and then the rest, is lowercase. But as the brother was talking, I'm like, oh, what did I put? I know I didn't put in all caps. I know that.
Right.
And I'm saying, do I have to pay for this, the whole thing, $168 over again? Because if I get a copy of the application and
that's your evidence,
and it's uppercase, lowercase, then I can say, listen, I need for you to correct my name change.
Yep.
Okay, but suppose, oh my goodness. Oh, I feel so crazy. Anyway. Okay, so suppose that it is Well, I'm sure that I didn't put it in all caps. I wouldn't write my name
And
in
most
all
of us
caps.
don't write our names in all caps.
Right.
Most of us are trained to uppercase, lowercase.
Kindergarten, they teach you not to do that, right?
Right. Right.
Kindergarten.
Okay. So I get this evidence, and then I can say, listen, I need for you to correct
Mhm.
this. Okay. And so the newspaper, I can just put that in the newspaper again for another 3 weeks. Is that correct? That's what we're saying when we say we
Mhm.
got to do it over again. We just put it in the newspaper for another 3 weeks. Okay. It might be a little inconvenient, but I'd rather to have it correct, because that's why I'm running into these stone walls. And I knew something was wrong, because I'm like, wait a minute. I know that I did what I did. I know that I did what I did, but I'm
Mhm.
still a negress. Okay, Islam, I yield.
You can also, once you get that corrected, you can also get the passport to correct it as well. Right. So you just fill out what form? Let's see. Passport correction form is going to be the DS DS 5504. DS 5504 form. This one right here. So you fill this out. And you get it corrected. Also, what I would say is this: for all those who have signed up for convention, or if you're going to be signing up for convention, I will wait until I show you all how to properly fill this form out to make any corrections on the form. Because once I show you how to do it, it's going to take you out of the federal U.S. territorial District of Columbia. It's going to allow for you to have diplomatic status. So you'll be on the do not detain, do not apprehend, do not arrest list, so on and so forth. But you got to remember, the main thing about it is once you have it done, you have to surrender the driver's license. You got to give it up. You have to surrender the state identification card. You have to give it up. You got to get out their system. As long as you're in their system, you're going to be treated as such, as being a subject to their system. Now, a lot of Moors are going to say, well, it's the U.S. government. Yes, it's the U.S. administrative government. You are correct, sir, ma'am. That has nothing to do with the United States of America, the Confederacy that was created by the Iroquois Confederacy in 1774. Totally different. Ain't got nothing to do with neither one of them. They have reorganized and instituted a new governing body, a new form of administration back in the 1800s after the War of 1812. They reconstructed then. They reconstructed again after the Great Rebellion, 1865. They reconstructed again, 1933. And what they're doing right now today, y'all, reconstructing. They're reconstructing again. So we got to get out of the matrix. That's what it is. It literally is a matrix. The matrix is detrimental. It is toxic. You know, even a hamster knows when to get off of the wheel. We are constantly acting as a beast of burden, undesirable.
Islam.
Islam.
So going back for a hot second, because this is going back to the original question I was asking about. I don't mind, like, so for me, I don't mind surrendering. I'm trying to get out of their systems and get away from this foolishness. However, like, I know Brother Neil Bay does the private side of the transportation. I do, quote unquote, the public side of the transportation.
No, you do the private side of ministry. You don't do no public side. You do the private side of ministry.
So I can still operate ministry if I'm dealing with Uber and Lyft people?
Yes, you can go and get what's the name has a thing.
Who is what's the name?
AAA. They have an international driver's license. If you gotta have a driver's license.
Okay. I do remember that one. Now I did just I save receipts, much like the doctor. I keep receipts, and so I found the original application that I electronically filled out, and it was not in all caps.
Okay, that's your evidence. That's your evidence. Go down there Monday morning, and you act like a Moorish. Don't act like a Negro. Go down there, act like a Moorish man. And demand yours. The prophets gave us demanding ours. What did he say in demanding ours? In the Moorish literature, let's see, demanding ours. Let's see, demanding ours. Number 32 in the Moorish literature says, the idea inculcated in the progress of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to have everything that belongs to us as a nation that has become a part of another nation, just the same as all other European groups are doing. We must have the history of our forefathers taught to our children. We have ceased to calculate our history from the landing of the first 20 or the close of the Civil War. While our records of the tombs in the old world are proclaiming our glory to the nations, we have come now demanding that we be given credit for the great work done in the past by our ancestors. We are not asking others to give these records to the world for us, but we demand that such records be broadcasted to the four winds by us and for us. A pride that goes with the knowledge of great deeds will serve to cause our posterity to take heart and look into the vast future with a hope eternal. Such can never be done except that they be taught who they are and where they are from. Yes, we are demanding that these things be done, and we know that it will require some time before we have created that consciousness and others of our group to assert themselves likewise, but that day is coming when such will be the case. Demanding hours, number 32 in our Moorish literature. So it's up to us to continue to say who we are. It's up to us to correct the records. No one else is going to do it for us. It's not the responsibility of anyone else. Islam. So I want to go over to equity. I want to build on equity. I want to go to chapter 29 first. Then chapter 29 and chapter 38 this evening. All right, I'm going to chapter 29. And this is chapter magistrate and subject. I'm going to verse 12. He frameth his statutes with equity and wisdom. His subjects enjoy the fruits of their labor and security, and their happiness consists on the observance of the law. So that's why many of us aren't happy, because we're not observing the law. Instead, we're allowing ourselves to be these corporate fictions that was created for us. And once we are of the age of majority, it is no longer our parents' fault of why we still continue to contract the way that we've been contracting. And we can't pray our way out of it. We can't meditate our way out of it. But we have to actually physically take ourselves out of these dead pledges. About 2 weeks ago, when I did a live stream, this right here, let's see. This,
We supposed to be seeing something or just a lovely picture of yourself?
you could just look at me. No, I'm pulling it back up.
All right, gotcha.
Islam. All right, this right here. was at 32 trillion. Today, it is almost at 33.5 trillion. By December, I wouldn't be surprised if it's at 35 trillion, 36 trillion. Why not? 73,508 is what they say each citizen owes. Most of us don't even make more than 32,000 annually. So if most of us, we don't make this annually, how are we going to pay it back? Why are we paying it back? We didn't create these bills. Who's creating these bills? Isn't Congress creating these bills? The House of Representatives and the Senate, they creating these bills. We're not creating these bills, they creating these bills. Most of these bills, we don't even agree with. I want to say shout out to Mike Boss, who is the congressional representative for my district. He went crazy.
Yeah, I ain't never seen him do that before. I said, yeah,
Man, I ain't never.
he
He
ain't
said,
playing.
let my people go.
He's not playing. He was upset.
He went crazy.
You know they fined him.
Yeah, they find him. He don't care. He don't care at all. Yeah, he said, let my people go. I ain't seen that in a long time. I haven't seen a congressional representative say, let my people go in a long time.
Praise Allah. It's just the prophecy of what Noble Drew Ali shared with us, right? He told us that there's going to be enough Europeans here and they're going to be working on our side. So, I mean, then we see them also telling us on TikTok that we've been lied to about slavery. Like in every form and fashion, they're letting us know it's time for y'all to wake up and take this land back over.
Yeah.
True.
Mike Boss, the same one who provided us with spiritual milestone letters. All of us in this district provided us with spiritual milestone letters. Said congratulations to each of us who decided to take on our spiritual journey in Islam. Honors to us.
Islam, they won't even respond to me in Ohio.
Oh man, you gotta go knock on some doors. You gotta bang some doors down.
That is finest.
No, his
It's a brother.
no, I think it's a sister, ain't it?
But
Well,
you
I don't
know,
think
sometimes we be
so.
the word.
There's two for my district, and I've reached out to both of them, and they won't even return my calls anymore.
The worst.
Yeah, you gotta go bang on some doors. Once you bang those doors down and you get it for one, then now everybody else that gets it, you know, you could provide them with a copy and they'll have it on file. So you gotta let them know, hey, look, I got a lot of my other brothers and sisters that's gonna be coming to get it, and they'll know now. But you gotta go bang on some door.
I'm gonna have to figure out where them doors at. I'll get there.
They got local offices.
That's why I say I gotta find out where they at. I found them.
Yeah, they got local offices, and they on break right now.
I'm telling you, when the Moors start really pushing the pen and all our paperwork is on top of its best game and we start sending it in, these people can't do nothing but get out the way, say, here you go. That's what you asked for, here you go. That's what you asked for. It's all been by pushing the pen.
You gotta push the pen.
We gotta push the pen.
You gotta push the pen.
So
I'm starting to see starting to witness a lot of Moors who started out, saying you gotta push the pen, and I'm starting to see them. They're not about pushing the pen no more.
Uh-oh.
A lot of them are just, well, we can have Islam without really having, your nationality. I'm looking at them like, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. In United States of America, you have to have both parts.
That's right.
That's the way that it was created. And we created the Iroquois Confederacy created the United States of America. We created it so that everyone who wanted to be a part would be able to be a part, because everybody couldn't be a part of the Iroquois Confederacy. Everybody couldn't be a part of the Creek Confederacy. Everybody couldn't be a part of the different tribal nations, so on and so forth. So we created United States of America so that we all will be able to function together. And here it is, 2023. More still have not figured out what Prophet Noble Drew Ali, like more should really act like Prophet Noble Drew Ali just brought something different. No, he was in law. How could you bring something different, but then at the same time talk about he was in law? How could he bring something different and at the same time he's telling us to honor our foreparents? So you're only honoring them by doing what they were doing. So it's not anything different. You know how many times Morris has said, oh yeah, Neil Bay and his wife, they on their own thing. They doing their own thing. They doing something different. How, Sway? Make it make sense. Oh, because I'm actually following the laws? That's something different? That's my own thing? Because you're too lazy in word, thought, and deed? You're too lazy in research? I just seen one of the old Moors say a couple weeks ago on Facebook that we ain't supposed to be researching. I'm like, you got to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. They go into all that. That's why you got more saying we're doing our own thing. Because
if I wasn't researching, I don't mean to cut you off, but real quick, if I wasn't researching, then I wouldn't have realized and found out that if you have a venereal disease, then you are considered to be a detriment and a harm to the military. And they can come in at any time and quarantine you, put you in these FEMA camps. If you got an STD, a venereal disease. But I learned that from research though. Go ahead, Neil Bear.
Islam, I just wanted to share, if we don't obey Allah through Noble Drew Ali, he is not your prophet. He gave us divine instructions, and to read it on Fridays is great. To demonstrate it to the children on Sundays is great. But if we're not taking these lessons and applying them into our everyday life, it's all for no illusion. He said, work on building on our human needs.
That's right.
Period. So I have sat with all these different groups of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and all of them have parts and parts. All of them share something with you. to a degree, but
Right.
all of them want to play clubism. All of them want to be Masons or treated like we're no disrespect against the lodge. But the Moorish Temple of America, Divine and National Movement, is not the Blue House, nor is it
Or
the
the Red House.
So a lot of Moors leaders have been influenced to go that way. So when I tell them, hey, look, I know what that is. That's not Noble Drew Ali. They don't want to say that you're smarter than them. They just want to call it, hey, you need to go ahead and do your own thing. That's usually what you get. But you ain't doing your own thing. It's just you want to do what Noble Drew Ali set up, not anyone else. Not what Neil Bay set up, not what K. Glover set up. If this is the movement and he's the founder and he left us with divine instructions, can I do what his general laws say? Can I follow out divine instructions? Why is it you're causing confusion if you want to demonstrate Act 6 and make sure that the nationality card is changing in your pocket? Or is all this just rhetoric? Oh,
And that's the problem. A lot of us are stuck in the school or the mind frame of rhetoric. And you got to get out. You got to get out and understand that that's a liberal art, right? We want to be liberals. We want to be liberals. But we don't want to apply any actual real science, true science, right? It's easy. That's the easy way to be liberal. You ain't gotta really do anything. When you liberal, you just really sit back and you just make up.
For example, the charter, and this is no disrespect to anyone. I don't care which group of the Moorish Temple of America you say you are with. They should be able to take you and show you where you're under Noble Drew Ali's Moorish Temple of America. Because in the county of Cook, there are many different Moorish Temples of America, Moorish holies, blah, blah, blah. Some are filed under the document, but it's still not accurate or correct. Just because they let you file in there for the $40, $50, $60 does not mean you are who you think you are. Have you seen the Hers Revised statute? Have you imitated the prophet in stages and degrees? That's what all the groups of the Moorish Temple of America got to get back to, so we can free ourselves individually and make safe havens, Moorish American Muslims throughout America, using the temple, making safe havens throughout America, using the temple. A lot of Moors who call themselves nationals are talking about what they're going to do, but they have threw the temple away. They have threw Noble Drew Ali away. So to you be your way and to us be ours. We are true American citizens. A lot of Moors have problems with being called American citizens. But Noble Drew Ali said that we are the true American citizens.
That's because most Moors don't understand that it was our forefathers and foremothers that created the United States of America.
Right.
You know, a lot of Moors believe that it was some pale-skinned Europeans that did.
They truly believe that, even if they don't say it. From how they teach and what they stand on, let you know the thoughts of their heart. So we got to save ourselves, brothers and sisters. No disrespect to any group of the Moorish Temple of America. And we are not here to championship to be the heads of the Moorish Temple of America, but we want to make sure that we are free, and everybody who said that they are ill or bay got even greater than what we have. That's what it's about. There is no big I's, little U's, and it shouldn't be any favorites in any other temple. If anybody knows Sister Christine Price Bay, she said Prophet Noble Drew Ali recited that the most. So what are we doing, Moors? Are we going to return back to Allah through his prophet, or are we going to play clubism? I'm not here to play clubism, and I know this is not a social club. It is a divine and national movement. Let's free ourselves. Bring the best that you have. We bring the best that we have, and we give it to our brothers and sisters in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's what this is about. Making safe havens, not just talking for talk. Applications. We should have everything that we want. As Noble Drew Ali said in 1928, it's 2023. Islam.
Islam. That's right.
Well, so you got those who can articulate their words. You got those who know how to sit there and use the legal terms and the corporate terms. All are needed in the Moorish Movement for America. The street disciples, et cetera, et cetera. We got work to do so we can make safe havens throughout America. And it's not hard. It's hard if it's just a couple of us. But if we got the numbers that we need, we can do great things overnight. Trust and believe that. Islam.
Islam. So yeah, boys, we definitely got to be who we know we are and not what we're told. Because we've been told a lot of things. And this is the reason why I'm always providing everybody with where I actually got it from. I'm providing you with the direct instructions. I'm not capping. I don't understand how many of those who say they are in leadership can just cap all the time. I can't do it. So when we look at equity, in chapter 38, verse let's see. Verse 23. Allah is just and righteous and will judge the earth with equity and truth. What is equity? The etymology of equity is quality of being equal or fair, impartiality. That which is equally right or just to all concerned. So here it is. This is exactly what chapter 38 is saying. So it's saying Allah is, and how Allah is going to judge. Right? The uniform relation to one thing to others. Equality, conformity, symmetry, also just or equitable conduct towards others. And law, fairness in the adjustment of conflicting interests, the settlement of controversies by the dictates of good conscience. the general principles of justice, which corrected or supplemented the legal codes, which corrected or supplemented the legal codes. Now, if we go back to chapter 29, verse 12, right? It told us he frameth his statutes with equity. Isn't that an adjustment or a supplement or a correction to the legal codes? Because these codes, these statutes, most of the time they go against the Bill of Rights. They go against your religion. They go against to unlawful search and seizures. They go against your right to egress and ingress without molestation. They go against of you having the right to bear arms. So here it is, we have equity to be able to provide us with the correction. Here it is, we got we got chapter 29 and chapter 38 demonstrating to us what equity is and how to use equity so that you can get that favorable reply. So as you're going to correct these contracts, as you go and create new contracts, you always want to keep in mind to do it in a way that you can always, if you need to, go back to get that equity that is due to you. So let's look at some of the maxims of equity, right? We went through this before, the maxims of equity. All of us should have a copy of the maxim of equity, right?
No.
So say it again.
I said nay. I don't believe I did, but
You
I'm
don't?
sure we went over it.
Yeah, you remember when Brother D. Harrington Bay went through every week. We
I
went through.
remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember, but I don't know that I got a copy of
And
it.
everybody's saying the same thing. It's like it's a lot. And now I'm thinking back to now. We'll have people like, man, I want everything. Just give me everything at one time. Even if you were to just drop it on them and just give it all to everybody, they couldn't do. I mean, what would they do with it?
Nothing but sit there and look at it like it got two heads on it. Cause let somebody
Because I
give
know
all
he
this to me.
works. I know McCloud works. His brother works. You know, they be on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you give somebody all this at one time, I'm looking like, what? You give it to me at one time. I mean,
Right.
like, I'll get to it when I get to it.
But I understand now. I used to get like, come on, boy. Y'all ain't did this and you ain't did that yet, and blah, blah, blah. But it's a lot. It's a lot. And then the system has changed. They so sensitive on everything now. You know, so I mean, we gotta stay on it. We gotta get it in. Once we get it in, it never stops though. It keep coming. It never stops. You gotta stay on until the day you die. Truly.
That's right.
So even if it feel like it's a lot more, got to stay with it. Just got to organize it. That's right. The sister said, if you want your freedom that bad, you will be resident, no matter how much work is ahead of you. Yeah, you're gonna work as hard as you push through all of it. Yeah, it's gonna be certain days you don't want to read that chapter. Certain days you don't want to have to go down to the secretary clerk's office or this office or that office, but you still got to go through it. If you don't do it, it won't get done. If it don't get done, you're going to feel bad because you know it's got to be done. So we're going to get it done. And then the thing about it is, some people just give up after they are known better. They know what to do. Give up. Or they try to shortcut your way through. Everybody I know who shortcut their way through always run into more trouble
That's right.
and end up in jail. That's the crazy part. No shortcuts. We're trying to get ourselves out the hole, not throw ourselves in the hole, have to go sit in the hole. And they strip you down and all that old crap. Or might even want to put you in the mental ward, not trying to scare nobody. But a lot that we do in the county, and then they get mixed in with the sheriff office, and then you try to take it to a judge. Certain judges will make you have to go through mental evaluation. Straight like that. If your paperwork isn't done properly, accurately, and on point, precise. So that's the importance of it. Because I have noticed Moors probably don't end up in jail, but they end up in a mental evaluation for like 60 days or so. Some of them had to eat pills with their breakfast, or they say they're not going to eat the pills, so now they're going to stick it up in your arm, and
That's all.
they put their little suit on them. So
That's
we want
right.
to do everything the right way, so we don't have to worry about those type of situations. No
That's right.
shortcut. Wow.
You know what? That's right. Another way to get around that is, they want to say, when you start talking about, I feel and this is my, deep belief and all that, they take that as a joke. But once you say this is my religion, I'm doing this based off my religion. They don't play around with religion.
They don't
You
play
get
about what? I didn't hear
religion.
that.
They don't play around with the religion. You
Oh,
get the
yeah,
utmost
correct.
respect.
But I noticed when you first start sharing a lot of degrees, you kept telling them disability and religion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to play with those two areas.
No, because
Those
they know that's
federal
it.
lawsuits, those
Mm-hmm.
state lawsuits, you're gonna have every politician on your side, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, they know not to play around with that.
Facts.
It's on Grand Sheep.
Said he needed some rest today. He just getting in. Praise Allah. I heard the video, Brother Grand Sheik, with you and my wife when y'all was speaking to about the situation. I won't say the more name. And it hurt me a little bit to hear that. I'm like, what? That moron came out and did all that, and we don't set with this more, we don't listen to this more, et cetera, for over 15 years. He's been a nice so-called friend, brother from Temple Number 9, and he always went to gathering out of Temple 57. When we come to Chicago, he tried to make sure He can offer what he got to offer in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And to hear him say all that, like, wow, a lot of Moors are stuck into, if you're not with my temple, your temple is wrong, my temple is right. And that's so chaotic, Moors.
It
That's
is. Because when
because
you look at when you put, because see, the way that I think is real simple, right? I like to keep it simple. So if you put a side-by-side contrast to the laws that was set up for all of us to follow versus what you're actually doing, what your temple is actually doing, then you can actually see, well, hold on. I'm not following X, Y, and Z. We're not following X, Y, and Z. Or I am following X, Y, and Z, but we're not following X, Y, and Z. Or I'm not following X, Y, and Z, but we are. So that's how you can see where you're at in the road and where your leadership is at in the road on the road. Because if majority of what I'm doing is actually following, and the majority of what my leadership is actually doing is not following, why is that person allowed to be my leadership? Where are they leading me to? Is it just friendship that I want? Is it just companionship? Because I'm starting to look at it. That's what it's really looking like. It's really looking like I just want
it's wrong.
companionship.
For over 30 years, I love the Moorish Temple America, but I have seen a lot of cliquism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I was a kid or a young man, I can remember all the Moors in the Moorish Temple America Inc., who family members supposedly was there with the Prophet or there with Kurtman Bey versus those who were just coming into the temple. Then, as I got a little older in the Moorish Temple America Inc., I started seeing a lot of Moors in the temple fighting. Temple 25 versus Temple 57, Temple 57 versus 9. And I can remember Brother C. Warner Bay says, I'm so tired of hearing these Moors represent their temple numbers because of the division. Now we make our way to now, this is not the only National Grand Sheik. There's other National Grand Sheiks around here.
Now it's not even, when I first came into, no, and I've only been in, it'll be 10 years for me. It'll be 10 years for me. But I remember when I came in, there was only one Supreme Grand Sheik.
Facts.
There was only one that was calling themselves Supreme Grand Sheik, and that was D. Bailey, no cap. Everybody else was National Grand Sheik. Now,
he was Supreme.
Oh yeah, Braswell Bay was Supreme. He was all of them. Supreme Grand Sheik and Chairman.
And Ben Hill are the same people with the same literature base.
Right. Now, all of the nationals are now Supreme Grand Sheiks.
Facts.
And I'm like, why you change it? Why you change it? Is it because we put it out there so much that Prophet Noble Ali didn't bring National Grand Sheik?
Yeah, I can remember the first time I actually shared it on MySpace and Blog Talk Radio, and a lot of people said I never heard of Emil. I never heard of a Supreme Grand Sheik, and I shared with them how the warnings had been changed by Curtin Bay, and they said, I never knew this more. So from that came a lot of enemies by just giving up basic degrees. The
Just
black
being
players
truthful.
didn't come from Noble Draw League. Certain charms Moors wear, and they give credit to the prophet. I truly don't believe Noble Draw League would give us the authority to wear a sword around our necks, Moors,
Not
if
at
we know
all.
the history behind the sword. And our
Not
sister
around your neck. Not around your neck.
Islam.
Islam. You cutting off your mother.
That's right. And we
How
know
you?
in the Moorish Sons Temple of America, I can't say all other Islamic organizations uphold the woman like Prophet Noble Ali shared with us. That's the beauty about us and all the other Islamic organizations. But if
But
you
you got to
wearing
be
that charm,
careful and bringing in. Call a lot of Moors are calling in that energy.
Islam.
You know, I'm starting to see a lot of Moors calling that energy because they want to be able to say that they can have, you know, so many wives at one time. That's really what it's about. It ain't really about, okay, yeah, I really want to just sit around and make prayer 5 times a day. You know, I'm really working on myself. You know, I'm really adhering to the will of Allah. No, it's really about being able to just have a whole bunch of wives.
So they're in that tea crumbly base feed. I got wines for $10. Prophet, you crazy. You fool.
Yeah, T Chrome, he did have them for $10.
$10.
Oh.
How much was that back in the 20s? That was probably about what, like $20 today? $10.
Yeah, his real wife showed up.
$40 hollers didn't have nothing on him.
Yeah,
He said $10.
his real right wife showed up and she was not playing with him.
Should have beat him across the back with that pocketbook. You know, I had those big old pocketbooks back then. You know, so she probably put that thing all across his neck, back, chest, everywhere. Talking about $10 for one of the sisters.
She was not going for that one. But you know, it's funny because when you look at the state that the Moors are in now, like you said, back in MySpace days, we know how long ago MySpace was. Back in MySpace days, you was pulling out the call, giving out the call that Prophet Noble Drew never bought National Grand Sheet. And here it is today. You can't find a National Grand Sheet. Everybody is Supreme Grand Sheet now. You know, so that's one of the blessings of being able to be a trailblazer in this movement. You know, like we was building last night when me, you, and Miguel, we was live streaming on how, you know, I went back to listening to master teacher, shout out to Brother Seer the Duke of Tears. I was listening to one of his lessons that he gave us over 10 years ago called Clearing the Cobwebs. And he was teaching on what I'm starting to hear and see a lot of what people teaching on TikTok today. And they're just learning that, you know, the Iroquois Confederation is what created the United States of America. They're just learning today that we've always been here, just learning that what is known as Africa today, we built that up. Right. That's why much of it is just a wasteland. There's nothing there. Because we just start building that up in the 1800s. We just now started building it up. When you look at, you know, the place they call Saudi Arabia, and, you know, with the place that they call Jerusalem and stuff, like all this stuff is just being built up. When you come over here, you know, every major city throughout the world wants to build their city to look like Times Square.
The land of milk and honey.
Everybody got a version of Times Square now.
Yeah. They want that energy to come their way. Come on to my city.
Yeah. Everybody got a version of Las Vegas in every major city. You know, everybody wants to create a version of Miami. Everybody wants to create a version of Chicago. Right, because America is the true old world. We've been here. Everyone, even with all this BRICS talk, you know, all of this government shutdown. Look, how is it that you got more people that have come here, asking to come here, begging to come here during a government shutdown? They don't care nothing about.
Through.
Care
I
nothing
mean,
about
that
the
look like
government
the movie to
shutdown.
me. They got their dogs with them and cats. They got the whole family with them when they walking straight through, no stop. That look like a movie. I'm looking at it. It's really real. But
Oh man.
Trump called this, y'all. And we laughed at it. We thought it was a joke and unreal. But they doing some of the same things he spoke about.
Yeah, I seen
I
some
don't care
of
what
them
they say
pull up
about
on
Trump.
they pulled up
I
on
listen
the
to that creep.
beach the other day in Florida. You know, they pulling up on the beach now in Florida.
We in trouble. Watching Illinois. Oh, watch what they
Oh
do.
yeah, Illinois. You know, I was watching JB Pritzker, and he had a nerve to say that the governor of Texas is only sending. This is what he quote. Remember, y'all. This is what he said. Remember, the governor of Texas said he was going to send all of the migrants here. But no, the reason why he said he's sending all the migrants here, and JB knows this. You know, JB tried to make it seem like that he's only sending them here because it's a quote unquote blue state. But no, if you look it up, Illinois, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up. This is what JB decided to do to Illinois.
Uh-oh. See, all this is going backfire on them because they all knew what they were doing and they knew they was going to go ahead and start letting them in here, but they
Knew it.
didn't tell us.
I remember when they was I remember back when they was talking about the Real ID Act that they was creating sanctuary cities.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. Exactly.
Remember, we had started talking about that years ago.
Yep.
When they said the Real ID Act, around the same time they started saying the Real ID Act was around the same time, there was like the sanctuary cities.
Yep.
So yeah, this is what he did.
And notice he's always in Chicago doing something. Always.
Yeah, he made Illinois a sanctuary state. So it's not just Chicago being a sanctuary city. Illinois is
Illinois, not just Chicago. That's right.
No, the entire state is a
That's
sanctuary
right.
state. Establishing Illinois as the most welcoming state in the nation. The most.
The most. Out of New York now. New York got us beat. What is it? New York, California, then Chicago, biggest cities in the States?
I don't know the largest cities, but I know that Cook County is what, the third largest maybe county. You got I think the largest county is LA.
Right.
And then I think it's Dallas.
I thought it was New York.
I think it's one of the counties in Dallas. I want to say that Texas. I want to say it's the Dallas Fort Worth whatever county that is, it's the second largest. I want to say maybe, I think Cook County is the third now. But yeah, it used to be the second, but I think Texas made it like the third now.
Yeah, I just looked it up. We got California, Texas, Illinois, Alaska.
Yeah, why they not sending them to Alaska? Don't you know they are they actually get them income
A
that
lot
live
of
in
people forget
Alaska?
about Alaska.
I don't know why they're not sending the migrants. Yeah, he made the entire state a sanctuary state.
It says, for example, California, the third largest state, is larger than Germany, but smaller than France. Texas is 3 times the size of the UK, and Massachusetts is two-thirds the size of Switzerland. So we got room for them, not in Illinois, not in New York.
I think Illinois is the only sanctuary state. I'm not even gonna cap. Let's see.
Of course, they want all the money they can get.
Oh no, they're not the only one. You got Illinois, New Mexico, California.
And then all the ones in yellow or red.
Oregon, the ones in green. Oregon,
Oh, not many.
Washington, New York, Massachusetts, Vermont looks like up there. Yeah, it's not many sanctuary states, but Illinois said they want to be the most. Here you go, right here. Yeah, Vermont, New Jersey. I don't know how New Jersey.
I just heard some brothers in South Carolina, North Carolina today saying they can remember no Mexicans being in their counties whatsoever. Now you're starting to see Mexicans in their county. I told brother Mexicans all over the states.
Yeah, Mexicans been everywhere.
Everywhere.
These aren't Mexicans. These are. Look, it's a lot of. I've seen a lot of Asians that came through the south of the border.
Well, check it out.
A lot of Ukrainians came through.
That's who the vice president is for, remember? Those are people. The Asians.
The Indian, a lot of Indian, and a lot of Africans. A lot of Africans came.
A sister says she's from Carolina. She remember that as well. Yeah, they flooding everywhere now. Because Mexicans gonna come in and rebuild your house. They're gonna do all the car work, all the trades. They're gonna come in ready to knock that out. Then they're gonna try to get all the factories.
They don't do good trade work though, because see they fire all of our brothers
right
in the construction trades in Florida, and they don't do work. They do the most horrible work. So now in Florida, if you're in Florida right now and you got any of those licenses and those trades, you're gonna get picked for all these current contract jobs right now. They need you. They need you right now. They don't want no Mexicans. None. None at all. But the 20 it's 20 maxims of equity. Here's a couple of them right here. Equity acts in personam. All right, equity acts in personam. Let's see what the definition of personam is. And I'm gonna pull up Black's Law Dictionary. And this is the 6th edition. All right, this is the 6th edition. Oh no, we at the 8th edition now. Let's see, almost there. They got a lot of person and personal. Here we go. I see personam as opposed to in rem. Oh, they don't have it in here in the dictionary. Let me see. I wanted to look at the law dictionary. I got other law dictionaries. Give me one moment. Let's see. This is Bouvier's. Let me see if I can find it in Bouvier's. Might have it, y'all. We just might have it. Let's see. Let's see. Personal, personality, personate. No, it's not in here either. Let me go to good old Google. I know Google got it. All right. We got Cornell. All right, Cornell and personam literally translate into against the person. Refers to court's power to adjudicate matters directed against a party in personam jurisdiction is one of the two forms of personal jurisdiction, with the other being in rem jurisdiction. A court may exercise in personam jurisdiction over a person who resides in, maintains connection with, or is served notice of legal proceedings in that court's area of territorial jurisdiction. For example, a Delaware district court has in personam jurisdiction over citizens of Delaware, corporate citizens of Delaware, companies which do business in Delaware, and people who are served while visiting Delaware on vacation. Additionally, a Delaware district court can exercise in personam jurisdiction over any person who consents. You got to give permission to the exercise of it, regardless of if they fall into the three categories above. Right? So equity acts in persona within whatever jurisdiction you're seeking equity in. Equity acts on conscience. Equity aids the vigilant. My bad. Equity aids the vigilant. Equity will not suffer a wrong without a remedy. Equity will not suffer a wrong without a remedy. Didn't we just read that? We just read that in chapter 38. It says Allah is just and righteous and will judge the earth with equity and truth. It says equity follows the law. Equity follows the law. That's chapter 38. Equity looks at the intent, not at the form. What did you mean? What were your efforts, your actions, your deeds, your words? Where the equities are equal, the earlier in time prevails. He who seeks equity must do equity. He who seeks equity must do equity. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. That's the majority of the issue right there. The unclean hands. You think it's a coincidence that we have the hand clasp of unity where two hands are coming together on your nationality identification card? He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Equality is equity. You just read that in the etymology of the definition of equity. Equity looks on that as done which ought to be done. Equity imputes an intent to fulfill an obligation. What's the obligation? In chapter 28, chapter 29, obligation is he frameth his statutes with equity and wisdom. His subjects enjoy the fruits of their labor in security, and their happiness consists of the observance of the law. That's our obligation. The observance of the law. Equity will not assist a volunteer. Equity will not assist a volunteer. Stop volunteering to just give your personal information to these departments, these administrations, these businesses. You want the most minimal contact with them so that you, the man living, the woman living, is not harmed. You are secured because you observe the law. So lastly, before we close, I want to share this with everybody because we knew very early on who they was going to choose for the presidency last time, right? How did we know last time, y'all? Anyone remember how we knew who they already had picked? Anyone remember? It's on, that's right. That's right, Chairman. The union. It's the union that chooses who these people gonna put up for the next presidency. And if you don't like their public policy and their public policy goes against your religion, goes against your customs and usages of honoring your forefathers and foremothers, divine creed and principles, right? You need to be prepared for all of that. You really need to be prepared for that. So let's look at these unions so far. So far, you have Forbes. This is Forbes. Says Trump courting union workers marks Republican rarity. But UAW has denounced his billionaire status. Seems like you know right now. We haven't chosen anyone yet publicly. Not yet, not publicly, not yet. Says former President Donald Trump's appeal for the United Auto Workers endorsement marks a rarity for modern GOP presidential candidates, as the Republican Party's ideological values often undercut union priorities. But while Trump is actively courting the UAW, he hasn't explicitly endorsed its strike and is instead using it as a platform to attack President Joe Biden's support for electric vehicle manufacturing. Says Trump is set to deliver a speech at Drake Enterprises, a non-union auto parts manufacturing facility outside Detroit, on Wednesday in what is widely seen as a counterpunch to Biden's visit to a UAW picket line on Tuesday, marking the first time a sitting president has rallied with striking union workers. First time ever. There's never been a time that a sitting president has ever been on the picket line with the union. Says a lot, right? Because that's not what presidents do. Not if you're the real president. In the lead up to the UAW strike that began on September 14th, Trump has sought to capitalize on the union's grievance with Biden over his support for electric vehicle manufacturing by appealing for the union's endorsement, while also blaming its leadership for unsatisfactory wages. The auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump, he told NBC's Kristen Walker in an interview that aired on December 17th. So that's the UAW, right? That's the United Auto Workers Union. The United Farmers Worker endorses Biden, says he's an authentic champion for workers and their families. So he got the food. You got the food. We don't know about the vehicles yet, but you got the food. It says the United Farmers Worker on Thursday announced its endorsement of President Joe Biden for re-election, saying that the Democrats has proven throughout his life to be an authentic champion for workers and their families, regardless of race or national origin. The Farm Workers Union was co-founded by Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez. See that? You see that? You see who you see who the Farmers Workers Union co-founder is? Cesar Chavez. The late grandfather of Julie Chavez Rodriguez, who Biden named as his 2024 campaign manager. Her father, Arturo Rodriguez, is a past UFW president. They all in the bed together. They all in the bed together. So yeah, he got the food. So let's see what else we got. All right, we got the AFL-CIO. He got the AFL-CIO as well. He got the AFL-CIO as well. Matter of fact, they said earliest. They never had an endorsement earlier. Earliest presidential endorsement in AFL-CIO history. Triggers massive campaign in support of Biden-Harris. The general board of the AFL-CIO, representing 60 unions and more than 12.5 million workers, voted today to endorse President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for re-election in 2024. The endorsement vote marks the earliest the AFL-CIO has ever voted to endorse in a presidential election, triggering an unprecedented mobilization that will engage millions of working people over the course of nearly 17 months on the Biden-Harris record of transforming the economy to one that works for all. So if you don't like what's going on right now, you better get prepared. You better get your families prepared. 17 months. You better get prepared and you better get your families prepared. Because they've already prepared. They already prepared. Yeah, they already got it. The AFL-CIO is the, let's see. I know it's the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations. So he got the food, he got the jobs. Only thing else he need now is the vehicles. He got it in the bag. So many of us have LLCs and corporations. And 2024, you will have to have updated your LLC and corporation to provide them, I think it's called the corporate, I want to say the corporate something act. Let me see. LLC 2024 law. Okay. Yeah, the Corporate Transparency Act. That's what it is. So this is how they get in your business. Corporate and LLC beneficial ownership. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. This is crazy. It literally says that this has vexed federal, state, and local regulators, as well as private litigants trying to get to the bottom of their ownership puzzle. And it has been a source of comfort to owners who want, for whatever motivations, to remain anonymous. That's the whole purpose of certain states, Delaware, Wyoming, so on and so forth, to be able to have an anonymous business. Like, this is breaking all the rules for the federal government to get in your private business like this. They don't care. They not making this easy. If you got an LLC or a corporation, you better switch that thing over to a trust ASAP. ASAP. All right. Y'all gonna learn how to do business private. They forcing you how to be a private business. Yeah, they making us all learn how to be private. Get out these public streets. These people didn't already pick who they next endorsement is. They already chose, and you already see his policies. You know what his policies is doing. See, they got it in the bag. Because after, y'all think all these migrants are here for just to be here? After the 4 years is up, guess what? They're gonna have 4 more years, because now they got all the migrants that's gonna be able to vote. Y'all, y'all better see and look at what this thing is doing. This ain't the business. Not for us, it ain't. Y'all better get out of these snares, because it's set up to trap Talking about being in the trap. Talking about trapping. This is the trap. This is the trap. Honest to each and every one of you all who came out again and supported. This was a live stream on my YouTube channel, so you'll always be able to come back to it and review it. Did I have any more questions or comments before we shut down? Okay. All right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I'm going to stop the live stream. If anyone would like to get more information, you can contact us at www.mstahhr805.co or 877-808-2477. Also, don't forget to sign up and register for convention. Today was the last day to get your ticket at $99 for the early bird special. At 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, it will be switching over to $199. So it'll be switching over to $199. We appreciate each and every one of you all who participated in the early bird special. Islam. So I'm gonna stop the live stream on YouTube.